including Nigeria, all right, a criminal offense must be in writing, and the content of that written offense must be clear to the accused person. And so, since tax has, a criminal implication where there is a default in its payment, it is covered by that requirement of, being a written law prescribing a crime, which must be clear and easily identifiable by the subjects of it. Okay, so Section 36 of the 1999 Constitution of Nigeria, which contains the fair hearing provisions, has one of its elements that to the effect that, must afford an accused person ample opportunity to present his case. So part of that affordability of presentation of his case is that the offense must be clear and discernible. So if it is not clear, then it cannot be an offense constitutionally speaking. So that is why for it to be taxed, when it comes to the economic side, it has to be less complex and simple. Because if it is not, it means that the tax authorities will not be able to assess it with ease, and then the taxpayer will not be able to calculate and determine it, and therefore it will not be under any obligation to pay. Okay. The third economic principle of taxation is that its enforcement must be low cost and cheap. Okay, because the essence of tax and the whole taxation process is to generate revenue for the government. So if government is spending more than it is earning from that tax, then it is no longer tax. It is something else. For it to be taxed, it has to be a revenue. And for it to be a revenue to the government, its enforcement and its collection must be cheaper than the tax itself that is being collected and that is being enforced. A fourth economic principle of taxation is that taxation is operated on the basis of equity and fairness. You do not target any individual. Okay, if you target individuals indiscriminately, it will come under discrimination, which Section 42 of the Nigerian Constitution forbids. All right, so it should be operated on the basis of equity and fairness, and no group should be targeted for any specific reason, because this has relevance with the economic side of things, in the sense that when taxation is not operated on the basis of equity and fairness, then either it will not be paid, or the collection process will be cumbersome, challenging, and at the end of the day, it can result in loss of revenue for the government. So tax must be operated on the basis of equity and fairness. Okay? And a fifth economic principle of taxation is that it must be certain, and so as to enable proper planning by the taxpayer. All right, so that taxpayer has audits, has several financial structure on ground to be able to plan its finances. So for taxes to be easily paid and recoverable by the government, it must be certain and clear to enable proper planning. And then, last but not the least, the sixth economic principle of taxation is that taxation is not arbitrary. All right, it must be. We have already said it should be certain, so it's not arbitrary. You don't just wake up in the morning and impose taxes on people. So that is why, for instance, presently, the administration of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu has before the National Assembly, I think, about 4 to 6 bills on taxes, right? We should call the tax reform bills that are currently pending. As you are aware, the National Council of State has expressed its reservation regarding the contents of those bills, and the presidency has rightly said it should be debated at the National Assembly. So tax must be a product of democratic debate, so that the outcome of its imposition is a product of a majority decision, and that way it no longer is arbitrary. So it's not an arbitrary imposition at the whims and caprice of the tax authority. Okay, now for legal principles of taxation, I have identified about 6 legal principles of taxation in my book, Immensely on Taxation, which you will find at pages